What's happening, you guys? Welcome to Comic Book Corner, and I am your host, OMD Dex 300, aka Doc Savage, the man of bronze. Thank you for being here at another episode, episode 9 of Comic Book Corner. We got an interesting show today for you. The release of the anticipated film, Marvel film, coming out this week, or should I say next week, May 2nd. It might even be a 2 weeks from now. Um, it's going to be an amazing, uh, amazing film. A lot of cool characters that we should be talking about. And I'm going to go through a few of those names of some of those characters. And I'm talking about the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, which is a super team, which I don't even think a lot of people know about it. I really don't. If you're a Marvel person like I am, and I grew up reading Marvel comics, and also, since the inception of the Marvel universe, uh, it's been like amazing to see these characters come to life, from the Avengers to Thor. But if you're not an avid reader of the comics, if you're not an avid reader of the comics, you probably don't know about a lot of these characters. I want to turn this fan off. Give me 1 second, you guys. I should have had my controller with me. Yeah. If you didn't know anything about the Thunderbolts or any of the characters, I'm going to give you a little background on them. One of the characters is called U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent was the replacement for Steve Rogers, Captain America. He was also the replacement in the comic books. But just like everybody knows, in the comic book, Steve Rogers did not perish. He did not die as he did in the Marvel Universe. But in the Marvel Universe, which this film is going to be released in, uh, he was replaced by this guy. Um, this character was actually introduced in live action on a Marvel Disney show called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Consisting of this team is one of the characters I just mentioned that was in that series. Winter Soldier will be, I guess you could say, him and U.S. Agent are kind of, I don't know if they're grasping for the leadership role in this group, but if anybody probably would be considered the leader, it's either Winter Soldier or U.S. Agent. I'm not sure the U.S. Agent would be really given that title, since Natasha Romanoff's sister, who is a Black Widow, just like she is, from the Black Widow Corps from the Russian Secret Service. Everybody knows that Natasha Romanoff's character was killed off, um, and she no longer is in the series. But her sister is basically the new Black Widow in a sense. She works for the government, but kind of the wrong side of the government, if you really wanted to look at it a certain way. Uh, but she's in the Thunderbolts, as well as the Russian version, the Russian version of Captain America. Well, just like any time, especially during the Cold War times, during the missile crises, or when America and the USSR and Soviet Union was at its strongest, they copied America and the Soviet Union copied each other. So when the Americans had Captain America, they got a version of the super soldier and they gave it to one of their guys, and they created their own Captain America, so to speak. And his name is the Red Guardian. He's obviously been retired. If you have been watching any of the films lately, the Red Guardian that they have now has gotten a little chubby, but he used to be very much a Captain America like hero for the Russian people, so to speak. He's a part of it. Two of the other members who a lot of people really don't know about, but one of the characters, well, actually, both of the characters were introduced in other Marvel films. One being the Ghost character, which was introduced in the Ant-Man series, in Ant-Man and Wasp, to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. The Ghost character, Ant-Man and Wasp, yes. The Ghost character, well, the professor that knew Professor Pym, who created the shrinking and also the growing mechanism, was a black professor who had a daughter, and they were trying some of his phasing, sort of like a phasing in and out, being able to walk through. It's a really cool. At first, his daughter that he gave the powers to couldn't control him, and it was starting to tear her apart actually. But Professor Pym at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp kind of saved her life and gave her the ability to be able to control her power or control the suit that she had on, or something to that effect. But now she's going to be, since her power is controlled, she's going to be a part of the Thunderbolts, which is basically a team created for General Ross, General Thunderbolt Ross, who's known to be the one that was trying to catch Bruce Banner and pull the power of the Hulk from his body. Uh, it's pretty wild, pretty wild. The other character that you might not know about that was also in Marvel franchise film, which was Black Widow, is Taskmaster. I like Taskmaster. I like Taskmaster a lot. Now, the creation or the one that was created in the Marvel universe had some type of super soldier type thing done to them to where they're strong, but probably the most famous power or ability that Taskmaster has is that she, which is a she in the Marvel universe, I believe it was a he when it was in the comics. She has the ability to mimic anyone she's fighting. I don't care who it is. If it's Shang-Chi, the kung fu master, if she came up against him and started doing moves on her, she would be able to copy everything he's doing right back at him. That's a pretty impressive ability. I rank that up there to me, especially if Taskmaster has superpowers. If Taskmaster has superpowers and can take your moves, no matter who you are from you, that'd be pretty. That's a pretty dominating ability. Uh, I would have to say it's reminiscent to Rogue. I love Rogue's powers, even though Rogue at one time, well, yeah, they changed that. Rogue can touch people now, but in the comics, but at one time, Rogue had to wear those gloves. She touches, she drain you, blah blah blah. But she has the ability to not only drain your powers, but she could take your memories. She could basically be you. Maybe not transformed into you, but she'd know you very well. So I would say Taskmaster's powers is very reminiscent to that. And yeah, uh, that's a pretty amazing team. But probably the biggest surprise that's going to be in the Thunderbolt movie, and I hate to spoil it for you. So spoiler alert: there will be an introduction to a entity or to a character that is considered one of Marvel's versions of Superman. There's actually quite a few versions of Superman in Marvel. They all have different names, but this particular version is pretty amazing. This I'll just go ahead and tell you the name. If you've never heard of it, I want you after this show, I want you to go Google Marvel character Sentry. The Sentry. Amazing character. This character has the ability of flight, super strength, telekinesis, even has like the telekinesis to where he could just think you gone and you could be thought out of here. I don't even know how to put it in words, but there's a Google post, or you can ask Google to show you the character and also powers and abilities. Once you've read that, you'd be like, wow. The strength rivals of Superman, speed rivals Superman speed. It's basically Superman on on cocaine or Superman on whatever drugs popular right now. It's like a he's extra out. Sentry is an amazing. I don't know how they're gonna pull this off in the movie. I've seen some scenes and trailers of him doing some things to people that pretty much look like what Sentry would do. Um, there was a character that was introduced in the last Guardians of the Galaxy film, and I happen to like this character. His name is Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is probably in the as far as the Guardians of the Galaxy fame, is probably the most powerful entity next to maybe Thor. He's amazing. They actually didn't get to finish him. If you did watch that last Guardians film, he was supposed to incubate for a little longer, and he would have been way more intelligent and more adult like. He was very childlike in his thought process and talking in this particular movie, and I didn't like that part. But he's an amazingly strong, fast character. Sentry is 1,000 times, if not 10,000 times, more powerful than Adam Warlock. This Sentry is gonna it's gonna be if you I guarantee you, you go watch this movie, you're gonna be absolutely blown away. You're gonna be absolutely blown away. I hope they do him justice. If he's supposed to be going up against the Thunderbolts, they have no chance. I don't even understand how he's the villain. There's a possibility that they may turn him to good or something in this film. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. I obviously don't know a whole lot about it. I know a little bit about who the characters are. I kind of don't know what the plot is. It looks like from the trailer itself that they're being pursued and they're fighting off certain people with ease, I must add, because I don't think anybody earthly could be able to stop them. So it's got to be another villain in there. And I believe the villain is the one who created Sentry and thought maybe Sentry was going to be working for him, and he probably does for a small time in the film. But I think eventually Sentry's going to go over to good. Now, there's something you may not know about the character Sentry. The character Sentry is insane in a sense that he has split personalities. Uh, that's weird in itself. To me, that's probably going to be the biggest thing to tackle as for a character, in regards to a character. So that's crazy to me. I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. But yeah, May 2nd, go check it out. The Thunderbolts, the new Marvel installment, the Thunderbolts. And I believe after that, what's the next up? What's the next film up? Oh, the Fantastic Four will be almost around July, the Fantastic Four, which I don't know if I'm really that hyped about the Fantastic Four. I'm gonna be real with you. I like Pablo Pascal, the guy who's playing Reed Richards. I'm a big fan of his. He plays the Mandalorian. He's in the Last of Us series on HBO. He's after a while, actors get put out there too much. Do I think he could do a great job as Reed Richards? Yeah, I think so. I think he'd be pretty amazing, to be honest with you. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. And the cast seems okay. It's like the story arc is funny. They're back in the day in the 60s, 70s or something. Maybe it's even another timeline. I don't know. It just, I'm on the fence about the Fantastic Four. I can't even lie to you about that. So, but check out the Thunderbolts coming up May 2nd this year. So it'll be next month, a couple of weeks from now. Um, Everybody keeps telling me, even though this is not comic book related, it is film related. If you haven't seen it, the new movie Center is supposed to be one of the best movies in the last 10, 15 years, as far as horror and drama at the same time, as well as uh, culturally. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of cultures are addressed. It seems to a lot of people from the Hispanic community is upset because their culture or their people weren't represented in the film, and it's based in the 1930s or something like that, 1920s or 30s in Mississippi. So I don't know why y'all upset about that. I don't know if there was any Hispanic. I'm not gonna get into the debate. I know it's going on right now, so let me not even talk about it. If you want to see a good horror film right now, Center is supposed to be the one. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna try to find something right now that has some sound. I wanted you to hear about a couple of how should I put this? A couple of characters from the Marvel universe that you may not know about. I'm pretty sure I got it here. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, one of the characters' name is. Is this about the? Oh, this is about the. Actually, this one is about the different shades of the Hulk. A lot of people think the Hulk is just green, when actuality is green. But there are a lot of different versions of the Hulk, and maybe you ought to hear this about that.
Bag of Skittles. Check out all 7 colors of the Hulk and what makes each.
Let me try that again. I'm gonna run that back.
Did you know the Hulk isn't just green? He's been more shades than a bag of Skittles. Check out all 7 colors of the Hulk and what makes each one unique. Green Hulk, the OG. Too much gamma radiation turned Bruce Banner into this raging nuclear-powered giant. Red Hulk, created with a mix of gamma and cosmic rays. This guy burns with heat so intense he can melt bullets. Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit, the very first Hulk. When Bruce got hit by the gamma bomb, he came out gray and mean with a mobster attitude. Blue Hulk, when Thor zapped Hulk with lightning, the gamma reacted, turning him blue and electrified. Brown Hulk, Devil Hulk. This Hulk came straight from Bruce Banner's mind, a dark and twisted version in muddy brown. Orange Hulk, Solar Hulk, cooked up in a genetic lab.
Wow.
This Hulk is powered by the sun itself. Black Hulk, the darkest of them all. Hulk turned black when possessed by a powerful sorcerer, making him even more terrifying. Did you know the Hulk isn't just green? He's been more shades than a bag of.
I'm gonna have to say that was pretty interesting. I had no idea that there was that many versions of the Hulk. I really didn't. And to know about all the different series of Hulk comics there is, all different types of titles. Most of these characters, Captain America has different titles too. Spider-Man had, I think, 4 titles, from the Web to Spider-Man, the Incredible Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. All of these were written and illustrated by different writers. I think at one time Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, was doing either the Spectacular or the Web, one of the two. He was a Marvel illustrator for a good while before he started his own comic book company and subsequently created Spawn. So it's surprising to know about all the different shades Hope has been. That's pretty amazing to me. That's actually awesome. So I'm very intrigued by that. Probably more intrigued than you can ever imagine. But I think this next thing we're gonna listen to is about the Martian Manhunter. And I don't talk about a lot about DC Comics characters often. I think that's what it might be. Omega Red. If it's Omega Red, he's a mutant that goes up against, and one of the few people that Wolverine is afraid of. Wolverine's not afraid of many people, but Omega Red is a doomsday mutant entity that was created. That this thing can't die. It's probably rivals Deadpool, who has to actually be disintegrated to be actually considered destroyed. But Omega Red was created by the Russians during the Cold War, just like Red Guardian and a host of other Crimson Dynamo, which was a thing created to rival Iron Man. So there's a lot of characters that from each groupings, whether it's the Champions, the Alpha Flight, the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's always that specific character that goes up against him, and Omega Red is one of them. And I think this is his story.
Lobo gets a Green Lantern.
No, actually, this isn't his story. This one is about Lobo. And I'm explaining, let me get a little background about Lobo. Lobo's pretty amazing. Lobo's a bounty hunter from a planet. I forget the name of the species. I can't think of it, but he's the last of his kind. Yeah, I think he actually killed all of the people on his planet, if I'm remembering the story correct. But he's a bounty hunter in the DC Comics, and he's been sent after quite a few people, from Superman. He was even after Wonder Woman in one comic, and he calls himself the main man, and he will get his victim. He's very Boba Fett like in that way, because Boba Fett in the Star Wars universe is the best bounty hunter out there. Actually, there's probably two or three other bounty hunters in Star Wars lore that are probably better than he, but he's considered to be one of the, one of the prime guys. So this is about Lobo. This is DC Comic Stories coming from Corner Comic Book Corner and Corner Store Television.
Ring. Let me explain. The Green Lanterns are in a tough fight against their enemies, the Red Lanterns. They're outnumbered and outgunned, so they do something drastic. They give the universe's most powerful weapon to someone not very mature, Lobo. They just hope he'll help them in the war, but he ends up doing something unexpected and memorable. The Red Lanterns want to spread rage and hatred and have a big army. The Green Lanterns are the only ones standing against them. Sala, another Green Lantern, asks Lobo to join them for backup. Lobo agrees and chaos follows. Lobo kicks Dexstar, a cute Red Lantern, far into space. Then he realizes the Red Lanterns have cut him in half, taking away his favorite body parts. In revenge, Lobo uses his power ring to recreate his happiest body part and penetrates Atrocitus's energy shield. Atrocitus isn't prepared for what happens next. Lobo creates a huge space organ with his power ring and defeats Atrocitus in one move. Hal Jordan isn't
This is a crazy story. There was a time that the keepers of the I forget the name of these guys. They're like elders, and they're on the Green Lantern planet, and they're like the guardians of the universe, I guess. And they're the ones who dove out these rings to the lanterns to be protectors of whatever area or galaxy they're from and planet. So I guess they started getting low on recruits, and they initiated the help of Lobo, somebody who is he's an anti-hero for sure. If you want to come, you want to kind of see who Lobo is. Lobo is like a space Punisher in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He kills good people. He kills bad people. He's just into it for the money. Lobo's a real wild ass character. I always liked his character. They're thinking about Jason Momoa, which I think will be a great pick because he does look like a live action Lobo. Is going to be He's going to be Lobo in an upcoming film. I don't know which hero it was going to be, but I think that makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, Lobo in this particular sound that I just played got a Green Lantern ring, and he was helping the Lanterns in a fight against I think the Yellow Lanterns or something like that, and because their numbers were dwindling, so they were like really desperate. So they got Lobo to be a part of the Green Lantern Corps. That's a hell of a story.
Lobo gets a
let me see. Okay.
Omega Red.
Here we go. Now this is the story about Omega Red. Omega Red, just like I said, is a crazy mutant villain created by the Russian people. He has like these iron tentacles that come out. He can drain people of their life, spirit, the whole thing. This dude is he's a hell. Even Wolverine is afraid of him because he can drain Wolverine of his mutant powers as well. He's super strong, super fast. Check this out.
Is, without a doubt, one of the most ridiculously slept-on villains in all of Marvel Comics. This man is a 7-foot Soviet nightmare wrapped in adamantium tentacles and pure disdain, yet he somehow gets less screen time than a background henchman in a bad 90s action movie. He's got Wolverine's healing factor, Captain America's super soldier durability, and the aesthetic of a heavy metal album cover. Yet Marvel keeps tossing him aside like he's just some mid-tier goon. This guy literally drains the life force out of people just by standing near them. Meanwhile, we've got villains like Taskmaster getting whole movie adaptations when their biggest flex is copying other people's homework. Beyond his absolutely bonkers power set, Omega Red is one of the few villains who genuinely makes Wolverine nervous. And if Logan, a man who picks fights with literal gods, doesn't want the smoke, you know this guy is dangerous. He should be a top-tier recurring nightmare for the X-Men. But instead, Marvel treats him like a one-time mini-boss you fight before getting to Magneto.
When he says Marvel, he's not talking about Marvel Comics. He's talking about Marvel Universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they're not picking the right people to be the villains. The baddest motherfucker they done chose, and this is the reason why I don't make my shows for kids because of sometimes how I talk. The baddest motherfucker they've created so far in the Marvel Universe has been Thanos, and they beat him. It was smart how they beat him because that was the only way they were going to beat him. So I like the way they wrote that. But they have not picked anybody villain wise that could even remotely touch Omega Red. If they chose to make the new X-Men film and they put Omega Red as the villain, they will make millions of dollars. They can't for the only way they could make money if they use Omega Red as a villain is if they fuck this up. That's the only way. If they choose the wrong person to be him, all of that. Because I'm telling you right, I already know who could be him. He already played a Russian. You guys know Diesel from the WWE, where he was naming now. He's using his actual name now. I know his name. I swear I'm pissed off. I can't think of it right now because he was in the NWO in the Wolfpack. Kevin Nash. As soon as I thought about that, I said Kevin Nash. If he's old now, he's older. But if you remember, he was in a Punisher film starring Chance Johns and John Travolta, and he played the Russian with the white striped shirt. Let me tell you something. Now I know what they're going to try to do if they create Omega Red. They're going to use somebody who's been being used like a mug in films right now, and it ain't The Rock. I don't think it's going to be. If it is going to be a wrestler, it's going to be Baptista. They're gonna Omega Red they'll probably try to reuse Baptista to be Omega Red, which is just as dumb as hell. Instead of finding someone new, or putting a casting couch out there and getting some guys that could be that mother. I'm gonna tell you. But if you are gonna go and use somebody who with a Russian accent, big 7 foot, because Omega Red's 7 feet, Kevin Nash 6'11", damn near 7 feet, so he can play the part. It should be Kevin Nash. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the Chance Johns. That's his name, the actor who played the Punisher. And John Travolta was the bad guy in the movie. And they had Kevin Nash come and try to beat the hell out of the Punisher, which he was doing for a good minute. But Kevin Nash, if he's able to do it, if he's not hurt or nothing like that, if he slims down a taste and gets a little quicker, he can play Omega Red, no problem. So, yeah. This next person that I'm going to let y'all hear the sound on is Martian Manhunter. Now, people sleeping on Martian Manhunter, and I believe the reason why they even let the brother be Martian Manhunter from the movie that they just recently had out with Ben Affleck as Batman and Man of Steel dude and da-da-da, it's because they don't really think too much of the character. John Jones, when he's in human form, is a black guy. So, but John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, is a hell of a character. And this is why.
The Martian Manhunter is the strongest member of the Justice League. Here's why. John Johns has been named the Swiss Army knife of superheroes. He can pretty much do it all, most notably being his telepathy and psychological powers. John can effortlessly read minds, and he once scanned the mind of everyone on planet Earth. His hand-to-hand combat mixed with shape-shifting is also exceptional. The Manhunter once fought the entire Justice League and won. He is able to density shift, so solid objects can go right through him. He can also put his hands through your head. John has been seen multiple times to be stronger than Superman, even defeating him in hand-to-hand combat. He only has two weaknesses: his extreme weakness to fire. John has an extreme fear of fire, and exposure can make him lose his powers and even kill him. The Manhunter also has an extreme addiction to Oreo cookies and milk.
Yep.
When Booster Gold ate some of John's Oreos, John had to destroy him. Follow for more. The Martian.
That is an actual fact. I don't think I read that comic book, but I heard that. Booster Gold is a superhero that's from the future, but ended up coming back to the past and joining the ranks of the Legion of Superheroes. And I always thought they're actually going to have Booster Gold in this new movie coming up, and it's going to be played by this Indian actor comedian guy. I forget his name, but he's supposed to be Booster Gold. I don't know about that. I'm not saying that because his race or anything. It's just I know the actor. I've seen him play. He was actually an immortal, if I'm not mistaken, in the Marvel universe, and I don't really like him then. So it's not that I don't think he could play the part. It's just I think there's specific people. If I cast this stuff, you guys will be like, now that's perfect. I'll cast not only for looks, I'm going to cast personality as well, because there got to be people out there who not only look like certain characters, but also, physique-wise, but also act like them too. And I'm pretty sure you can find those characters. But yeah, Martian Manhunter.
Omega Red is
Bad mother ucker. Bad mother ucker, man. Omega Red if they make a movie with Omega Red fighting the X-Men, that the thing that pissed me off about the last X-Men franchise was when they had X-Men Age of Apocalypse, which should have been a three. He should have never died in one film. That don't even make no sense. That don't even make any sense whatsoever. How do you kill Apocalypse? Listen to the name, Apocalypse. Like that's the end of it. They should have made it to the point where he was just like Thanos, almost blew up the world, and everybody knew about it, and there should have been a crossover thing, the whole shebang. But nope, they fucked it up. And why would you pick an Apocalypse that's 5'7" and some shit, some little ass motherfucker? Apocalypse, they fucked that up. They're gonna have to run that back. They're gonna have to bring back Apocalypse and give him his. If they have to make him animated like they did Thanos, they're gonna have to do that, man. Because that was some bullshit they did. They act like they ain't had no money in that budget, and that pisses me off. We need more respect when it comes to these Marvel films because people gonna start losing interest. They're gonna start losing interest. They already be pissed off about certain budgets in movies. These last couple of movies that have been out, not Marvel films, but one in particular I mentioned earlier, Sinners, small budget, $60 million ain't a lot of money, and they pretty much made that budget back this weekend. They probably made it today, Monday. So you got to get more out of the budget you get. I believe that these things can be done. I believe these Marvel films can be made. Plus, you not only use good CGI people or good people that do the art. You got to tell them, man, give us a discount. You are promoting a Marvel film. If your company gets the design or do anything in this Marvel film, you ain't got to try to tell them to pay top dollar for it. You know what I'm saying? Like if your budget would be 70 million to do the animation, cut it in half some kind of way. Squeeze the budget. You know what I'm saying? So people can be entertained. I know that don't sound like the American way, but as far as I'm concerned, you're gonna make people lose interest. You keep making these half-ass films with 150, $200 million budgets. Because go and look it up yourself. That X-Men Age of Ultron film had over $100 million budget. It was made some years ago. It ain't like today. It ain't like everything high, even eggs. We talking about what are they paying these fucking actors? These actors shouldn't be making that much money. You know what I'm saying? The top actor at the top of the fucking cast list should be making the most money. And it shouldn't be no more than $15 million. If that. Just because you got a big budget don't mean you got to pay these motherfuckers all that money. Take that money and put it back into the movie. So you can get the best animation, you can get the best out of the film. That way your budget will shrink. Now, if there's a bunch of people out there that are actors and they piss, I ain't gonna play no, there's newcomers. There are new people that can take these roles and be the new big thing. Y'all motherfuckers need to shut the fuck up. And that's one of the big problems about filmmaking too. Stop using people who've already done things. They gonna demand a certain amount of money. Find you a newcomer. And you ain't gotta necessarily go to England to find them. That's just my opinion. I'm not taking no money out the English pocket, but they already over there doing their thing. But they understand Hollywood films and all these films over here. Even though the country stinks as far as the roads and socialism and helping out the homeless, they know damn well the money's going to the shit that don't matter, like movies and stuff. That's why they coming from Britain and being cast in these films. What we need to have though is some casting directors or casting people with balls enough to say, we don't need a top name person. If we're going to get one, make that motherfucker the dude that's the enemy. All the heroes should be new, especially if we're going to go 10 years with them, following them. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just get brand new coming good actors that with size and strength. Perfect example of a new actor, the guy who's playing Jack Reacher now, the Alan Richmond. I love dude. I love him. New cast. He's taking on that character that Tom Cruise destroyed, I say. But there's 3 seasons of that show, and they all have been dynamic, whatever you want to call it. Alan Rickman is Jack Reacher. And Guess what? The casting director of that shit casted the character, the size, and everything is supposed to be. He's a big dude. When Tom Cruise took that role on, he read the book and was like, "Oh, this dude sounds bigger than life." Tom Cruise is a little bitty man that wear lifts when he do movies and stuff. He shouldn't have never been Jack Reacher. He should have been. He could have just came up with his own guy, just like Keanu Reeves did. I don't know if that character Keanu Reeves plays, the killer dude or the hitman, is an actual graphic novel. There's got to be somebody out there could just sit right in front of Tom Cruise and say, "We're gonna make a movie and call it Brett Gaines." Brett Gaines. You know what I'm saying? And just put a sinister voice on the promotion. Brett Gaines. Brett Gaines will get you some shit like that. And promote the shit out of it. Brett Gaines. There people were like, "Who the fuck is Brett Gaines?" A lot of people was like, "Who is Jack Reacher too?" But the people who were reading those books about Jack Reacher knew who Jack Reacher was. I actually knew about the story, but never read the books. And Jack Reacher is like 6'5", 6'6". Big old dude, whoop ass, but he know how to do detective work. It was real unique character. Why would Tom Cruise want to take that? Because he want to feel like he's bigger than life. Why would they want him to be Iron Man, shortest Iron Man in the world? It's about, I don't know. It's crazy how they cast new people, cast some new blood, cast some people that's hungry and young, and you know damn well they've been to acting school, and cast them, let them work out and get in shape, get ready to be the motherfucker in the film. Stop retreading people. The guy who played Moon Knight was the guy who played Apocalypse in the X-Men films. Stop retreading people. Moon Knight could have been a whole new motherfucker, especially it was a Disney Plus fucking show. You don't mean to tell me they couldn't have picked. Now they fucked up on Disney Plus when they did. They chose a great Daredevil. I like that guy. But when they did the Danny Rand, what's the Iron Fist show, I hated the dude they cast. He was terrible. Get him out of here. He didn't even look like he knew martial arts. Let's keep it a band. When he fought, it was garbage to me. A lot of people might like that character. I may be hating on a lot of people's favor, but I thought he was whack. You got to take your time and you're picking these guys. You'll see it. You'll know it. It'll feel it. Now, I'm going to tell you how good I am at casting. There's a character nobody knows about, except for maybe some real, not novice, but real fanatical comic book people that really read them and know all about the characters, everything. And I'm sure there's people out there like that. There's a black superhero who would just destroy the box office. Ryan Coogler needs to, I wish I could call that man. I wish I could call you, Ryan Coogler, and tell you about this guy. He used to be the leader of a group called the Defiant Ones. See, now I fucked around and forgot this man, this hero's name. I got it. And his name is Night Thrasher. I spoke about this character on Comic Book Corner before. And I'm going to tell you right now, he might be getting a little old. Maybe a few years ago, like when he played Spawn, Michael Jai White, when he's playing Spawn, he should have never did Spawn. I'm sorry. Not saying that he wasn't a good Spawn. It was just a bad script, bad CGI, everything. New Line Cinema was trying to do some shit, and they had the hit with Wesley Snipes, Blade, and they was trying to, keep it going with Spawn, and they missed it on that one. Whoever directed and brought that together was whack. And stop trying to, they could have got all new people and did Spawn. If people would have see the cat, this is what the problem is with Hollywood when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now they think that there's not enough people that know comics that's going to fill the theaters and they'll make the money back. So they have to pick all these people that everybody knows to play these parts. Now, a lot of people may not know Michael Jai White, but they do know who Martin Sheen is. Martin Sheen played the bad guy in this movie. You didn't have to do that. I know he asked for a shitload of money. You could have probably paid that villain $500,000 versus $5 million. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. Spawn himself, the character Spawn, with a character, people knowing that Spawn was in the shit, would have been the thing that would have carried that film. That would have been the precursor of carrying that film. But instead, they keep trying to put these big names on the movie. Can I help you?
Hello for Dana.
Dana.
Uh-huh.
Last one. Last one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you need?
No, I'm studying only one line only outside for frontier, private hotel.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
working here the outside.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We got a utility guy back here working on something for a neighbor of mine. So yeah, that's what happens when you got a home studio. So anyway, uh that may have messed up my train of thought. Well, to be honest with you, I pretty much done covered everything I wanted to cover, but I've that right there kind of broke my thought process, and I'm trying to figure out where to go next. So I'll do this. I'm gonna go ahead on and end the stream today. We'll be back. Remember, May 2nd. May 2nd. Go see the Thunderbolts. Real good. Marvel film that's coming out. I believe it's gonna be pretty good. They're gonna introduce a lot of characters you never heard about. And coming up in a couple months after that will be the Fantastic Four. I believe that's in July. So look for that as well. And yeah, man. The next show, I'm going to have on the show some comic books or some new books that I'm supposed to be purchasing. Uh, so definitely look for that. Look for that. I really appreciate you guys. Hey, remember Night Thrasher. Michael Jai White is Night Thrasher. Go look up Night Thrasher. You obviously know who Michael Jai White is. Played Black Dynamite and so forth. Look him up, and I'm telling you, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Night Thrasher, he would be great. Obviously, if there were some other black actors out there who could learn martial arts or at least learn, film fighting, I think they'd be good too. But Michael Jai White could really play that part. This has been episode 9 of Comic Book Corner, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.